How to price your first product with 0 testimonials, 0 case studies, 0 proof. You don't need a wall of 5-star reviews to charge a fair price. You need a method. Somewhere along the way you got the idea that pricing is something you earn permission for. Prove the transformation first. Collect the screenshots. Gather a chorus of 5-star reviews. Then you're allowed to charge. It's a tidy story, and it's backwards. Buyers of a first-time creator's first product almost never make their decision based on a testimonial wall. They make it based on whether the offer, the price, and the person in front of them feel coherent right now. Proof helps later. It cannot be the reason you delay launching, and it's definitely not the reason you undercharge. What you actually need on day one isn't a track record. It's a pricing method that holds up without one. Why prove it first is the wrong order of operations. Testimonials solve a trust problem for buyers who are on the fence. But most people who buy a first product from a new creator were never on that kind of fence to begin with. They followed you because something you said or made already resonated. They're buying the specific promise, not your history. If you wait for proof before you price something fairly, you're optimizing for a buyer who doesn't exist yet at the expense of the buyer who's ready today. That's the trap. Creators spend 3 months gathering case studies for a product that was ready to sell in week 1. And by the time they finally create your store and open a checkout, they've priced it low anyway. Out of habit, not strategy. The fix isn't to skip proof. It's to stop treating proof as a gate and start treating it as a byproduct. You get testimonials by selling, not before selling. So the real question isn't, how do I price without proof? It's, what pricing method doesn't depend on proof in the first place? That method exists, and it comes down to 3 inputs you already have: the size of the problem, the narrowness of your promise, and the format you're delivering it in. Price the problem, not your confidence. Confidence is a terrible pricing input because it fluctuates hourly and has nothing to do with value delivered. The problem you solve, on the other hand, is stable and measurable. Ask 3 questions about the specific pain point your product removes. How much time does it save someone? In hours per month? How much money does it help them make or avoid losing? How much frustration or risk does it eliminate that they'd otherwise pay a professional to fix? A Notion template that saves a freelancer 4 hours of admin a month is worth more than an ebook that's merely interesting to read, regardless of which one you feel more confident about. Confidence says, I'm new, so this should be cheap. The problem says, this saves someone $200 worth of time, so $29 is a bargain regardless of who's selling it. The refrain. You're not asking, do I deserve to charge this? You're asking, does this price make obvious sense next to the problem it solves? Those are 2 completely different questions, and only one of them has anything to do with your track record. Narrow the promise, then price it like a specialist. New creators tend to make their first product broad because broad feels safer. More people might want it. But broad promises are exactly what require proof, because a buyer has no way to judge whether a generalist claim is true. Everything you need to grow on social media needs 50 testimonials to feel credible. A 12-slide caption framework for fitness coaches posting 3 times a week doesn't need any, because the promise is specific enough to evaluate on its face. Narrow the promise, and the price justifies itself. This is also why a tightly scoped $27 template routinely outsells a sprawling $9 mega bundle. The buyer can see exactly what they're getting and exactly what it's worth. Use founding customer pricing, not apology pricing. There's a difference between pricing low because you feel unworthy and pricing strategically low on purpose, on the record, with an expiration date. The first is apology pricing, quiet, permanent, and corrosive to how you value your own work. The second is founding customer pricing. You tell buyers explicitly that this is a launch price for the first cohort. It will go up once you've got the reviews and results to back a higher number, and buying now locks in the lower rate. This does three things at once. It gives price-sensitive early buyers a real incentive. It sets a public expectation that the price will rise, which removes the pressure to keep it low forever. And it turns, "I have no proof yet," from a liability into an honest, likable pitch. You're not hiding that you're new, you're using it. Set your real target price first, based on the problem value math above, not a discounted guess. Announce a founding price at roughly 20–30% below that target, with a stated buyer count or date it ends. Deliver the product, and actively ask your first buyers for a quick testimonial or result once they've used it. Once you've sold to your first 10 to 20 buyers, raise the price to the real target and keep the founding buyer testimonials on the page. Your first price doesn't have to be your forever price. It has to be a price you can defend today with the evidence you actually have. The problem, the promise, and the person you're solving it for. What actually substitutes for a testimonial wall? Proof isn't only reviews. Long before you have customer quotes, you have other credible signals a buyer will accept in their place. And stacking 2 or 3 of them does more work than a single vague testimonial ever could. Show your own results if you have any, even informal ones. This is the exact template I used to land 3 clients last month. Show the process, not just the outcome. A screen recording of you building the thing, or a before-after of your own workflow, reads as proof even without a single customer name attached. Be transparent about what's included with a clear breakdown on the product page, because ambiguity is what actually erodes trust, not newness. And be reachable. A visible way to ask questions before buying. Your inbox, your DMs. A note that you personally answer contact support messages reduces the perceived risk of buying from someone unproven almost as much as a review would. I can name the specific hours or dollars this product saves or earns someone. My product title or headline describes a narrow outcome, not a broad category. I've decided whether this is a founding customer price, and, if so, what raises it, and when. My product page shows exactly what's included, with no vague bullet points. I have at least one credible signal, a process screenshot, my own result, a clear guarantee, standing in for a testimonial. My checkout and delivery are actually live and tested, not just planned. Where the price actually lives. All of this reasoning is wasted if the price never makes it in front of a real buyer. This is the part creators skip past fastest and regret longest. The pricing decision only matters once there's a working storefront behind it. If you haven't yet, open your store, fan and set up the product page while the problem value math is still fresh. A title, a short specific promise, your founding price, and the file or link itself. The platform handles the parts that would otherwise slow a first launch down. Instant automatic delivery, the moment someone pays. Stripe or PayPal connected in minutes, so the money lands straight in your account. And Apple Pay and Google Pay working automatically at checkout, so you're not losing sales to a clunky payment flow. None of that requires a single testimonial either. It just requires you to press publish. If you want to see what a fully built storefront looks like before you build your own, a live example store is worth a scroll. Notice how the pricing on a first-looking product still reads as confident, not apologetic. And if you're deciding between the free tier and going further, it's worth comparing plans before you launch rather than after. Paid plans carry 0% platform fees, which matters more than people expect once your founding price starts converting and you're not losing a cut of every early sale. FAQ: pricing without a track record. Key takeaways. Testimonials are a conversion multiplier, not a pricing prerequisite. Plenty of first products sell well with zero social proof price from the size of the specific problem you solve. Not from your confidence level or your follower count. A tight, narrow promise justifies a real price more than a vague, Broad one ever will. Founding customer pricing lets you charge fairly while being honest that you're new. It's a framing move, not a discount apology. Your first 10 to 20 buyers are the proof engine. The goal of pricing round one is to get enough of them fast, then raise the price. Start your creator store free at store.fan.